I'd like to call the meeting to order. Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us to use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in thy holy name, amen. We salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I thank you all for coming. Welcome. I'm assuming we've got a contingent from the marinas.
Yeah.
Yes,
Would you like to address the board?
well, we just, seeing if you're still remembering us.
Let's say we haven't forgotten you, but we haven't got very far.
You haven't,
I
didn't get
don't know
much
what-
done?
We actually made some visits last year. It got nowhere really. The Army Corps of Engineers was out there. Do you know that or not last year?
Don't know if they were or not.
Yeah, I made a PDF, that's what I sent you.
Okay, yeah. They did, Leo did get a hold of them, and they did send us a survey. And
You got the results of that? I mean,
we do have a result from it.
Yeah, I think I printed it, or
Right.
printed it, yeah.
Kind of didn't move along on that. We thought, wasn't there engineer or some engineering that was gonna go on and,
well, Anthony Young is here tonight. The other half of that engineering
Yeah.
firm, Mac, is not here. He was gonna take a look at it. Do you remember that issue?
Yeah, I
with
think
Mac?
they submitted for a planning grant. I don't think we were successful on it. I don't know much more than that. I can find out though. And
Yes.
get back to you.
The lake level, was it lower than normal at this time of year?
it's a rather normal
Is it?
spring.
We know we didn't have no big, huge runoff or nothing.
Right. But,
I can say we haven't forgot you, but I guess that isn't much of an answer for you.
No.
Yeah.
Like to hear they're about ready to start dredging, but,
what has happened, I mean, we heard last year was that there was going to be some sort of some studying being done to apply for the grant this summer and
Yes.
get that applied for
Yeah.
by,
And I think the best thing that we can do is, some of those board members and marine owners actually make a visit again to our Congress lady.
uh-huh.
Okay, right, I can make that appointment here in Plattsburgh whenever she comes into Plattsburgh. I hear our case again,
Uh-huh.
you know. We have a different congressman than we did 3 or 4 years ago when we applied through Army Corps of Engineers. They told us there was no money for recreational,
Uh-huh.
there was for commercial. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the boat owners are recreational, but you guys are the commercial
Right.
end of it, okay?
But I thought we had, there was a grant available just for upgrading navigable waters that we became eligible for just in the last year when they redesignated the river as a navigable waterway. And that's what was supposed to be being looked into. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a certain amount of grant money that was available for municipalities to
apply.
and you know, they would cover a good chunk of the cost apparently of doing that work.
Doing the study, not the actual work? Or the-
It was the work itself, yeah, it was for upgrading navigable waters. And the 3 rivers, the Au Sable and the Saranac and the Chazy had been redesignated as navigable waters. And
Okay.
it was considered
One of the 3 of you, if you leave me a phone number tonight,
okay,
I will try to get a hold of the Congressman's office tomorrow.
okay,
I have no idea when she's gonna be up here,
okay.
but I know her fairly well.
Because I remember we came here with the information about the new grant that would be available to us.
Okay.
And as we came here, somebody here I think it was Steve, had been aware of it, and it got brought up, and there was some talk about getting the money to do the study, to do, to make the application, and there was some, I know the engineers were supposed to be, you know,
Working on it.
getting it prepared.
If I remember right, I think we submitted the grant application for a study, not for work to be physically done, for a planning grant.
That was my recollection, that the first phase was to put together a grant request for the money to come up with what it would take to do it. And that was part of what we would need to do in order to submit an application that would be acceptable to the grant that you're referencing. We got turned down by that initial
Oh, I see.
grant request for having these guys, Matt, Cooper, and Anthony, put together a plan for what we would need to do in order to make it navigable.
Right.
Because the grant required, okay, what are you gonna do, right? What is your plan for excavating or whatever was required? But maybe that study or the information from the Army Corps of Engineers should be part of this, if it wasn't already. And
I'm not sure if it was or not.
Yeah. Well, we can look into that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
There's well, you have that website. right?
Yeah, I got the website for it. I talked to, I called the guy, they told me who to call, then I got like 3 other guys. Then I actually got the guy who was part of the people that came up and actually did the survey of the river, of the mouth of the river and everything, did the depth things and all that. And he told me how to get to the PDF, and I had gotten it. I mean, it's found that thing.
Okay.
It's right on the header on the website. I mean, I've got it wrote down at the yacht club.
Okay.
It's like about 8 steps you gotta do. But
Yeah.
he told me, but it gave me right to, it took me right to it. You know, it showed you the PDF for the Shazy River and then the mouth and all that. So it gave you like the Army. That was when the engineers did the actual measurements and everything. I thought it was like 2000. I thought it was for the beginning of last year. I thought it said 2015 or like April or May or something like that.
Yeah, the copy he got sent to me was just very,
Yeah.
you know, it was a diagram of the river, and then it just had these tiny little numbers in there
Oh, sure, the depth.
that showed the depths. But didn't somebody tell you that they were, you know, it was quite a bit lower than it should have been?
Yeah, he said it was, at the time they did it was low. That's when last year was low, last year to begin with.
Yeah, but it was not about the depth of the river, it was about the depth of the height of the, you know,
The mouth and channel.
how much it had filled in other words.
Yeah,
It
the
was
silt
not
was built up in there.
Yeah, it was not some, you know, as we know, it goes along at, you know, sort of a depth of 6 or 7 feet, then it comes up in that one place that just comes up to like 4 feet or less, and then levels heads back down to 7 feet again. It's just that section that has, for some reason, that there was a blockage there, and then the stuff just kind of piled in behind it.
The only other input I have is that we've come up against this before where we're looking for money for studies, but like Janet Dupree and Betty Little and others, they don't allocate money for studies, but they will potentially help us with projects that we can show a firm, concrete plan and associated pricing for something that's more infrastructure related. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what
Yes, we asked for some money for a study for another item.
yes.
She said there's no money for the study, maybe for the project. Now, this year, it would be more of a federal project than it would be a state project?
I thought it was a state pool of money. It was designated strictly for improving navigable waters in the state. And,
Well, then, if that's the case, we need to talk to Betty Little. She's our state senator, we all know her well. She's been very, very helpful in the past. If I get an appointment with either one of those, I can call, somebody will go with me?
Sure.
Because you guys are the ones that need to explain it better than I could, okay?
Uh-huh.
I have no clue what the scope of the project is money-wise.
Uh-huh.
This is, you know, hundreds of thousands or millions, I have no clue what this would be.
We
This
don't know
wasn't-
either. I know it's expensive. I'm sure it's, you know, definitely a six-figure
Right.
ticket and.
Is there a lot of boats in the river already?
It has declined. It's sort of coming back.
Yeah, but like, is this early to get all the boats in the water? There's a lot of boats in now?
Oh, no,
No,
No?
not yet. No, we open the 15th. That's when they
Okay.
all kind of come in.
I haven't taken my boat down yet, Jonathan, or more than my boat.
Uh-huh.
I haven't contacted him, but I will be down there probably this weekend or something.
We just finished putting our docks in.
Okay,
And Scott, that has the other marina there, he's been launching boats and putting the ones in that he's had over the winter that
okay.
he's starting to put back in. But I imagine some will start coming in this weekend and, you know, and then,
I take it was like a little earlier spring than normal, maybe?
oh, yeah. Yeah, it was definitely an earlier spring. We got an earlier jump on putting the boats in, but it's usually sometime in June when we really start to fill up.
Yeah, when it gets warmer.
Yeah.
water's gotta warm up a little bit before.
Do you guys have any paperwork that you received that might help out the town or help out Anthony? I mean, you said you applied for something, they sent you back something?
No, I called the Army engineer, and he told me how to get the PDF for the report off the inner. I mean, I can get another copy and,
Well, whatever you have, could you bring it up to town here? And we'll take a look at it, we'll forward it to Anthony.
Sure.
all right.
Okay, because, you know, we're kind of, you know, I think the big discussion the last time you guys were here is how many cubic yards actually would have to be moved in order to have access.
Uh-huh.
Of course, we didn't have a figure. They talked, if you remember correctly, they talked about coming down, and you guys just said you would take them out there so they could give a measurement and everything on this. Of course, we didn't get far enough to get anybody to come down.
Uh-huh.
But anything you have that might help Anthony or the town out, as far as that goes,
Okay.
if we could get a copy of it.
I can even get I can give you the guy that I talked to, who was originally in charge of that engineering part of it too. So I have his number and everything right at the hub. I have these big calendars I bring everything on, so.
But you run the marine owners, and you're the one that's most of the interested parties. Whatever you have to help us out, and, you know, you guys should come up with some kind of a figure that say, well, we're losing X number of dollars because our boats can only use such and such boats, and we're fully capable of handling boats with a bigger depth, and we have to have something like that to work with.
Yeah, it's very,
Just had a call last week from somebody who had been there, who has a sailboat that draws 5 feet or something. He asked if anything was being done, I had to say, no.
You know,
And,
talking about it is okay, but we need some kind of paperwork to actually substantiate the fact you guys are losing money. Something to work with us, if we're gonna go talk to some kind of a congressman or a senator, we were discussing here, we have to have some kind of proof that you guys are losing your butt. If the river was open, you could expand your businesses, you know, this type of thing.
we had around 100 boats before Irene.
And then he went down to like
And then the
38.
following year, that was the year everyone had trouble getting in and out because of the Irene had deposited a bunch of material in the,
So having a statement from each marina saying that before Irene, we were servicing, say, for example, 100 boats, and now we can only service 65, and we can only have boats shallow draft, da, da, da.
Yeah.
We have to have something to work with to go, to convince these people. to need
Smaller
some help
boats
here.
and
yeah.
less income from them.
Right, but if you're losing income, I mean, that's,
How many boats can you accommodate?
We can come in at around 110.
And,
And like I said, we were up to around 100 a little, and it dropped right down to what, it's somewhere around in the
50 or
40s.
40s.
ooh,
And, you know, it was just that the sailboats are a huge part of the business. And 4-foot draft that cuts out like 75% of the sailboats that are on the lake. And at one point, when the channel was dredged to full depth, I mean, it was full of these big sailboats. And then as it slowly, when we got the place, it had already silted in somewhat, and the you know, we pretty much were at 4.5-foot drafts is what we recommended it for. And we got a lot of sailboats at that. You know, it wasn't we weren't getting the big ones that they had gotten before, but it was roughly half and half. But after that season, after Irene, everyone had trouble getting in and out, everyone. And we were out there towing boats through and trying to tip them so that they would get out, and just everybody said, we can't come in here. And now, the way things are, it's word of mouth is a big deal, and you get the reputation. I'm sure there's things on the internet where somebody says, well, how is that place? Is that a good place? And it's like, well, if you can get in and out, I would go in there if you got a 4-foot draft. So, we just don't get those calls for sailboats at all anymore. People that have been in there know the place, know they can get in and out. Yeah, they come back, but it certainly has hurt us. Definitely is.
How many marinas altogether down there?
How many marinas? We're the biggest at about 100 and, like I said, about 110.
Yes.
Scott has,
Like 40 maybe,
does he have 40 that many?
maybe 40 like that.
Yeah, he's the next biggest. And then there's a couple small ones with about 12 or under 20.
I noticed the one, I dock at Scott Dunbar's,
Yep.
or Johnson's. Going upstream from him, there's another marina there, it's almost vacant last year, wasn't hardly any boats there.
That's ours.
That's yours there?
Yeah, it's the big one.
We have 3 sections. We have from the trestle, the train trestle, down to, there's another small marina with
River.
Well, Jonathan owns another small one up there, just a few
On the other
boats.
side of the trestle?
Yeah, on the other side of the trestle, that's John and Scott too.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
ours is the next one after the trestle. Those two right there.
Yeah, we have
are-
two sets of docks there. That's 48 docks, or a little more than
There wasn't
48.
many boats there last year at
No,
all.
hardly any. And then we have a section near our store
Yes,
with 17 docks there. And then further down, we have a long section with 42 docks.
okay.
So it's all split up. It's an odd situation. We have, how many sections?
Five tax bills I know.
We have 5 different parcels
Okay.
that are taxed separately.
Well, Jonathan seemed to have the smaller boats, and he was fairly filled up, I believe.
Yeah. But we used to, we had room for 40-foot boats there. The docks are 40 feet long, and the ones upstream, the furthest ones upstream.
Yes.
And we've had some big boats in there, but they're just kind of staying away. And we have to deal with, they pay by the foot. And it's, we do make some deals for people that don't use power and water. We're back to where we were. We're making a little comeback, but I mean, when we took the place over, there were only 5 or 6 boats that came back from the year before. We picked up a few more, and then we worked it up to, this is roughly where we were on maybe year 4 when we started. Well, we're maybe a little further along than that, but then it took us a long time to get that business back, or to get the business, to build the business up, and then to have it kind of crash.
It's hurt.
It's really not a profitable business the way it is now. It's not. And we're just trying to get it
Sure.
back up.
I'm sure it's a big investment for
Yeah.
the term,
And it's a lot of work.
Okay, the best I can do
Okay.
is make a couple phone calls. I'll
Okay.
try to do that this week,
Okay.
either with Betty Little or, let's see, Elise Stefanik, Congress lady. They're both receptive to us. What they can do for us might be another thing,
Okay.
but we can try.
I'll get together the material I have on the grant
So,
we'll try to get that stuff together from the
Yeah,
Corps of
We can
Engineers.
Find somebody there was somebody who dredged Treadwell Bay.
yes,
We try to get a hold of that person, see if we can get a estimate on what it would cost.
Is that something that would help? I mean,
well, it certainly wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is, dollar-wise, you
Get
know.
some sort of a ballpark figure as to.
Any kind of an estimation,
It's
to
gonna be easier
Yeah,
to,
because last time we were here, it sounded like that things were rolling and the engineering was going to be, the engineers were going to be looking into that, and that's how
usually.
the gears work. We don't know.
When the money trail stops,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
you know what I mean, that's the end of the project, so to speak. Well, the only thing I say, we will not give up.
Okay,
We'll try and we'll keep trying.
okay,
I will make those calls this week and I'll get a hold of some of you guys and
okay,
I'll have you spread the word around down there.
sure.
Get 2 or 3 of you, the more the better when we go visit somebody, okay? You certainly are the ones to explain the financial loss,
Okay,
not just to your business, but the surrounding businesses that might be affected by the boats,
all right.
okay? The boaters spend money, right?
Great.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, yep,
It's a big impact.
very good.
Do our best,
Okay,
okay?
we'll do what we can.
Okay. Get us what you can, and we'll get it up to Anthony.
Yep.
We'll do the best we can with it, but we'll have to find out where actually the status is on that last attempt at a grant, see what we can do.
And
Okay,
if you know the contractor that did, was it Chudwell Bay, you said?
Yeah, they did some dredging there at the mouth of Treadwell Bay.
If they were willing to give you just
Couple
an
years
estimate,
ago.
Yeah.
that wouldn't hurt,
I guess, you know,
okay? I'm assuming if there's a grant for this, they'll have to go out to bid though, you know?
uh-huh,
There's probably not that many companies doing this type of work. I don't know.
right,
Not the average, it's a specialty, let's put it that way.
yeah,
Okay.
okay,
And Anthony, you can find out for us, if not, Matt would have gotten back to us, I'm not the ruler.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure we weren't successful on that, and maybe it's almost the time of year to start working on another application, submit again.
On this water project we went several years before we got the funding we needed. I'm talking 4, 5, 6, 7 years we worked on this. And it took a long time, takes a long time.
great,
Thank you.
thank you.
Nope, not a problem. You're certainly welcome to stay if you wish. For the rest of the meeting.
Yeah, well, I know.
Okay,
Very good, thanks again.
thanks you guys.
Now, see, Friday,
Yeah.
Friday night.
Friday morning,
Friday morning.
Thursday morning or Friday morning.
All right.
We need to approve the minutes of April 12th, our last regular board meeting.
So moved.
Any questions or concerns about the minutes of April 12th? If not, all those in favor? Opposed?
I'll second that.
No. Carried. You have your town clerk's monthly report to review and approve, hopefully.
Make a motion to approve the town clerk's monthly report as written.
I'll second that.
Any questions?
Have we seen anything on the big building permit for the,
Solar panels?
Solar?
yeah?
No, but Mickey got something today from FedEx, so, but he wasn't here, so.
I was just wondering, I haven't seen that go through yet, so it hasn't.
No, he did get something today, so.
Good, thank you.
Okay. Do we vote on monthly report? You got your zoning board minutes? Very interesting. Try to read those and keep up on things that are going on.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
Pardon?
a battle going on between the property and the fence.
I believe that's going back to the zoning board for reconsideration. They're asking it to be reconsidered. Okay.
Well, all he wants to do is, the original approval was 256 feet of fence, he only wants to do 106, but that's not on our hands, that's zoning board.
That's the zoning board's.
That stuff we get just for our own preservation.
You got your EMS report? Somewhat interesting. We didn't try to analyze it.
The EMS never seems to have a driver. I listen to my scanner home all the time. You got an EMS guy on duty all the time, they never have a driver. They wait, and they wait, and they wait. I just, before I left the house, they had a call in Moores, they didn't respond. They called Champlain, they didn't respond, they had called Alpona. I don't know what's going on there.
It's very, very hard when you depend on volunteers.
So is this the report that we all agreed was the one that was most helpful for
Yeah,
us?
you just got the one page, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that was a budgetary
Right.
one. We were more curious about calls answered. That's what we originally got. in
Yeah, that's the
January.
first one we got was really good.
Yeah, it just,
Wasn't the one you requested more of a listing of the actual number of calls?
yeah.
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 Does that fit that description? Does this fit that
No,
description?
no, this isn't the one.
No.
I mean,
They've been very busy, I know that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they keep that for themselves anyway. I mean, they have to keep a log,
Right.
so it's just a copy of what they already have. It's not anything they have to create.
Well, that's how we get reimbursed by the call.
Yeah, and it just lets us know how busy they are, where the calls are, and who's answering the calls. It's just a good information.
I know certain times of the day or weekends, it's very hard to get somebody to go out. Okay. And I am sure they're gonna want more paid help down the road somewhere when it gets larger. Okay.
So can you contact them, Larry? Can you
Yeah.
ask them for that?
We got a letter from New England Waste, which is Casella, pertaining to the landfill up here. Alan has contacted them. They are supposed to come up here and tell Alan which wells need to be addressed. And it requires a cap and lock on it.
$6,000.
Well,
The only thing is, they closed off a well here a few years back. Why can't we just close this one here off? The last testing on all that stuff hasn't shown anything.
Cost to abandon existing monitoring well
Yeah,
installation. and new
what's-
monitoring well.
They're charging us, what, $10,000 a year to monitor those wells? I don't know.
So this 6,000 is on top of the annual fee?
Or third-party engine, not including any engineering oversight the state might require. Installation of new monitoring well, that means they're gonna drill in a well. That's above and beyond what we're already paying. I think we should take a look into this maybe here. I mean, it's,
we looked at this a few years ago. We asked
Yeah.
DEC how long we had to, test these wells and monitor them. I don't think we ever got a concrete answer.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We got the bills, but we didn't get any feedback.
and I called, remember, 2 years ago, I
Yeah.
called the DEC up there and spoke, it took about 3 days, and I finally got to speak to somebody who was gonna get back to me, which he never did. And the next time I called, the girl there didn't know who I was talking about. I gave up on that, that was kind of confusing.
Okay. We'll try to follow up on that.
Well, are they requesting payment, something?
They want approval to drill another well, and
They want us to cap, we gotta recap a well that's damaged. And they're thinking about, when we start thinking about it, it'll probably come about that they want us to drill another monitoring well.
Who is they?
It's part of the Judas is the engineers out of Syracuse. It's actually engineers hired by Casella, they're the ones that have to manage it. But the bills always come to us, no matter if it's Barton Judas or the county. We're at the bottom of the ladder, we pay.
If we push, what would happen if we just pushed back and said we need more detailed information, and we just kept asking for more
Well, Alan's
information?
asked for that.
We
He's
didn't
supposed-
get it, and
There was
it's
a guy supposed to come out and meet with Alan on that.
No, we didn't pay anything till we got that.
So you guys individually, if you see Alan, ask him about that.
I like Clark's idea. Don't pay him until we get the information we want on what's going on here.
Okay.
No, now we're gonna get ourselves in difficulty with the state or the county?
shouldn't be.
If we don't adhere to it,
It's been like that cap has been off that one there for about 3 years.
If I were to make a phone call to Mike Zerl someday and express our frustration,
I have no problem you doing that.
Well, he's copied on here, so I think that's a good idea.
yeah. Or at least maybe Mike could give me some information who to call.
Yep.
Okay. With the permission, I will do that.
There's some good news on the next page from the State Assembly pertaining to CHIPS funding, that's highway funding. It's gone up. This year, we're getting an additional 26,000. a total of $144,283. That's information only. That's a good sign.
That's to be used for what, highways, sidewalks, or,
Roads,
oh,
Shipley Road, highway.
okay.
It's based on the number of miles of road. that the
Yes,
town
we have
has.
approximately 52 miles of town roads.
Right.
Okay. Thursday, June 30th is the rabies clinic in Ellenburg. Just for information. Save the date, it says, June 15th. Clinton County Community Health Assessment, Strategic Planning, and West Side Ballroom. Anybody's interested in going to that? Got an interesting letter from the Clinton County Treasurer's Office. Upon review of case law, it has become to my attention that town supervisors, town councilmen, assessors, and the Board of Assessment Review members are precluded from bidding at the Clinton County auction. These are the properties that are being sold off for taxes. We cannot bid on those within our own township. My understanding, if you want to bid on something outside the township of Champlain, you can. You can't bid on anything within our jurisdiction.
Why is this some kind of revelation?
What?
I'm just saying, I would assume that I couldn't bid on a parcel in the town of Champlain because I'm on the board,
Well, your wife could though, right?
I guess. I don't know. Just the wording of it makes it sound like it's some big declaration, and I think
Okay.
it's common sense that you can't do that.
Anthony, you probably could have a little bit of input here on this one, is EDU changes. I understand we need to approve those separately, am I correct?
Well, Jane made the request that each parcel number be read individually for auditing purposes.
Uh,
Her big question is when it was effective. That was
Yes.
her thing. Are we talking last?
We already discussed that, though.
Yeah, but we didn't do it in the minutes.
It's not in the minutes.
It's not in the minutes.
We
and
did
that-
approve reducing them.
Right.
Was it retroactive to the first bill that went out in January? That was the intent, I think. Okay,
I remember this discussion, that's the only reason I mentioned it.
pardon?
I remember this discussion, that's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, and we approved it, but.
So are we gonna go retroactive to the first billing date, or because we have checks in there, you're gonna have to credit people this, that, the other thing? The only thing is that, the EDUs that we did change for the people that read their EDUs and they came up and made us aware of the fact they weren't satisfied with the assessments.
Well, I do remember the second one on the list. No, it's the first one on the list. Number 11, see the very top of the page? We agreed to reduce that from 17 to 6. That man did come in and pay for the 6 already. You go back and tell him that we got it, I don't think that would be the thing to do. I believe the intent, and I did speak to different board members about this when it came up again. We need to approve these, and if it's the wishes of the board to make it retroactive to the first billing. I don't believe these have all paid yet, though. Okay. You got the list there, Julie?
Yes.
The first one on the list is parcel number now, it's 3.-1-8.
I'll make a motion to approve the change in EDU from 17 to 6 for parcel number 3-1-8.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Approved.
I'll make a motion to approve 18.1-13.2 from 10 to 1.
Second.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. The third one is parcel ID 19.1, 17-3-1,
I'll make the motion that we.
from .5 to .1. You have a motion?
I will move that we reduce that from .5 to .1.
Second that.
Thank you. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Next one. Somebody want to grab that one?
I'll make a motion to reduce the EDUs for 20.1-17.22 from 5 to 2 EDUs.
Right, thank you. I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. The next one,
I'll move that we reduce the parcel number 18.1-16-11 from 2 to 1.
Second.
any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Next one,
I'll make a motion to reduce property number 48.1-6 from 1 to 0.5.
I thought it made a big, I'll second that.
okay, the next one, we're not actually reducing it, it was a miscalculated one if I'm correct. It's a vacant piece of property, 48-1-3.4, from 1 to half a unit.
We did vote on number 161.
The one above it, we didn't vote on.
We didn't vote on that one, excuse me. We have a motion and a second, did we, Jim?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Now the next one is from 1 to half a unit, at 48-1-3.4. That should have been 0.5 to start with, okay? So we picked up on that later. Do I have a motion on that one?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Who wants to pick up on the next one here?
I'll make a motion that tax parcel number 48.1-5.5 be reduced from 1 to 0.5.
Okay.
Second.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The last one was also a mistake on our part, or somebody's part. It should not have been what it was anyway, because it's a vacant piece of parcel. Okay? 19.1-29.1. We have a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the reduction.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried.
I would like to request that the minutes show that all of the changes and the inclusion of these in the minutes is being done at the recommendation of the
Engineers?
engineers.
Okay.
We're accepting their recommendation.
And I'd like to also add effective as of,
First building, that's what I would like to personally see it, but that's
I
what
have no problem with that, but I
No.
mean, Jane needs a,
Yeah.
Is that going to cause any bookkeeping problems with the?
With two people, we're gonna have to adjust their second billing,
Okay.
okay, because they already paid what they should have. And two people I can think of. I don't believe there's more than two. We can easily take care of those.
yeah, I think Jane said it wasn't a problem, just change it, right, Julie?
Yeah.
So,
So you have something in there that.
well, let's put it forward in motion then. The bills are retroactive to the first billing. Is that the proper term?
So moved.
Agree.
I have a second to that motion.
Second.
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Okay, what am I doing that one? Says Anthony Young updates. What do you got a date or anything, or?
We had a progress meeting today for the water construction. Contract only started a few weeks ago. Waiting on DOT permit right now, so they can work in the right of way in most of the areas. They drilled underneath the river in the village, and we've been working on Prospect Street now until we get right of way. Statewide's pretty much completed their work. They have to put the plaques in the tank. Fences and gates will be installed next week, as long as the gates are delivered on site. All the fencing's here except the gates. Buck Brothers was doing some hydro seeding today. They're almost complete. And the water treatment plant, we received DOH comments today. I haven't read through them yet to see what they are, but we should be able to put that out to bid hopefully within a few weeks. Catch that up with everything else. I
Okay,
sent payment applications of Casale and Statewide. Steve had a few questions and I can answer those, and don't know if there are any other questions on any of the pay apps.
We talked about the amount of pipe that was on the ground, Steve and I, it didn't seem like there was an awful lot of pipe for the amount of money they were billing us.
Yeah, Eddie counted all the pipes, and valves, and hydrants, and we had an invoice for everyone. He made sure they matched up.
Okay.
Why are we only now just getting a highway work permit for these guys? I don't understand that. Is this normal that, why wouldn't that have been done 2 months ago?
I think it started as soon as they could.
Okay,
It's been delayed.
okay. So the contractor has to request that, not the engineering firm?
We assisted with the contractor on the town's behalf. And it's not the contractor delaying, it's DOT. Every time there's a submission, there's 4 to 5 days before there's a response, and the response is requesting additional information. Casale and the town and BCA have done everything they can to already had this in place. We expected it 2 weeks ago.
You want to think I noticed on that billing schedule that we're gonna pay the contractor for the materials. I understood that went out to bid and E.J. Prescott won it, and we're not paying E.J. Prescott, we're paying the contractor. That's who billed us.
The invoices are from EJP to Casale. That just shows that Casale purchased the pipe. The contractor could purchase the pipe from whoever supplier they wanted to. One of the items they couldn't because, for example, hydrants are standardized.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I got into it with a couple of local towns people here, not in this town. How come E.J. Prescott is the only ones that could make the hydrants that we're using? I find that very confusing.
That's between Waterous and their reps.
I know, but when we put it, I know, but E.J. Prescott's the only contractor out there that can supply them.
Yeah, and that's why we're leery of all these standardizations, because that limits your competition.
Yeah, that's what I was
Same with
told.
census water meters.
They seem to think it's
There's one-
highly illegal to do
Yeah.
it that way.
They have territories though. That's the,
yes.
Beside the
that's
point.
the,
Yeah.
so when you standardize on a specific manufacturer,
I know, but now it doesn't, now anything we buy from those people doesn't go out to bid, it just goes to E.J. Prescott, whatever they want to charge, we'll have to pay, as it was explained to me. If they're the only ones that can supply the hydrants, if they want to charge us $10,000 for a hydrant and they're only selling for $2,400, that's what they can charge.
there must have been some general idea though, ahead of time what those hydrants would cost in the whole planning process. Once it was standardized, you must have had a number of some kind to project what the cost of the hydrants are gonna be
Yeah.
in total.
Yeah. They came in compared to normal.
You see what I'm saying, John?
Yeah,
There's
I
still a
understand what you're
control
saying, but-
mechanism there.
Yeah.
It's still showing,
But
I know
no,
what you're saying.
yeah,
but-
you make a valid point. I mean, it limited the competition, and maybe we could have seen better bid prices without those standardizations, but then you had the benefits of the standardizations
Parts,
too.
too.
you have to see,
Now you're into different parts
Parts,
and
if you need a part for it, the only
Yep.
place you can buy it is from them.
Yeah.
And we've locked ourselves into something, well, I don't feel is a good business practice. Because the only place you can buy a part is from them. And I don't feel that's the way it should be. You can't put it out to bid because nobody else can supply it.
But then you
And I think that's illegal as hell.
no, it's not illegal. I mean, that's why we did the standardization, but as Mike Joliker, the village superintendent, said, I mean, when you've got 3 or 4 different hydrants and 2 o'clock in the morning, you have a problem with a frozen hydrant or something, what do you do? You know, now he has replacement parts for everything.
Yes.
So, I mean.
And they've
it's-
signed into that VAS system down there, so if the part was $100 this time, if they want to charge you $500 next time, you can't use anybody else's part. I don't feel that this is the way it should go.
Again, I'm not totally comfortable with it, but I do see that it does provide a benefit, especially when, you know, how can you deal with 3 or 4 different hydrants? I mean, you know, like Mike was talking about, one type of hydrant is disassembling it was completely different than another type, and it's very hard to do. I mean, he's the guy who's working on them, and he's gonna be working on them for us.
Well, the guy,
And that was his recommendation.
the gentleman that I talked to said that this town has those hydrants, and then somebody knocked one off, knocked that steel rod out of things. They wanted more for the valve rod and something that a new hydrant costs from BJ Prescott. So I said, oh, don't tell me that, I don't need to hear that one.
And wouldn't that be true of any hydrant you could want?
No, but when 40 dealers handle a certain type of hydrant, and it goes out to bid, you have 40 people bidding on it. If you only got one company that's making one particular type of hydrant, you don't have any choice.
But then again, if you have 20 different hydrants.
First of all, I don't believe there's that many manufactured hydrants.
Right.
Maybe only 3 or 4 major ones, okay?
But still, we can't put our parts out to bid or anything, because we took this particular type of hydrant.
Well,
I don't know, but
Well, we can see how it works. I mean, you're not tied in forever, right,
Right.
Anthony? I mean, this is, we put it out to bid that way,
Well, you're standardized
Right.
water hydrants.
but you can also, what you standardize, you can also change if 10 years from now we find out that it's not working. I mean, you know, we can look to change it. But it does make sense to have, I can see where Mike Jolliker's coming from. I mean, if I needed to stock 3 or 4 different parts for every situation or possibility, that's gonna cost you 2. Instead of having 4 of one thing, you've only got 1. I mean,
Approximately how many hydrants are gonna be put in this project?
60.
Yeah, I say between 50 and 60, 56 maybe.
Okay, so if it was feasible to purchase 75, in other words, you're spending more on extra hydrants, you can, as the whole district grows, you're gonna have need for more hydrants. And 2, if something goes wrong with hydrant number 37, you've got replacement parts right there. So it sounds to me, it's plausible that over 5 or 10 year period, it's gonna be money, yes, you're creating an inventory, but maybe money well spent. And I don't know if that makes sense or not.
well, you can train 3 people. You know, you're not training 3 people to do 4 different hydrants. You're training, you know what I mean? It's,
Right. But maybe maybe the town does not want to carry an inventory, I don't know.
well, we aren't, yeah,
The
we aren't.
village is gonna do it for us.
they're already carrying
There
inventory.
was a
on that
recommendation, I
basket.
believe, from the village as well as the engineers, just, there was advantages of standardizing equipment. We do that somewhat now in the highway department,
No,
okay?
no.
It's long term, and we'll just have to see how it works out.
Well, we'll see what we try.
Yeah.
They're gonna do the repair, and if they're happy with it, I guess we ought to be happy with it too.
Anything else, Anthony?
One more thing on water. The New York Water Infrastructure Improvement Act, they added more money on April 18th. They changed the criteria of the program some. This project is still eligible and it still meets hardship determination. So we could submit this grant application in, and it's $3 million now versus $2 million. So there's a chance we get another $1 million grant. It wouldn't add on to the project, it would just replace $1 million alone. So I need a resolution for Larry to sign this grant application and let's submit it. It's an almost identical application we did in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it would reduce the user
Matt
rates.
explained this briefly to me this afternoon.
Yep.
If we were awarded the grant, our loan would not be 11.4 million, it would be 10.4 million if we were granted. There's no reason not to apply for it in my book, okay? So
Right, yeah, if you don't get anything, you're not out anything, but
Right.
if you're successful, which we're hopeful.
So we need to, a motion to approve applying for an additional grant, is that what you would call it?
Yep, it's New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act grant application.
Okay,
Just need a resolution authorizing you to sign it so we can submit it.
is that the will of the board?
Yes,
Yes,
I'll make that motion if you want.
I'll second it.
Any cost to us from you guys?
No.
Okay.
Any other
Just
questions?
gotta ask.
Yep.
Any other questions? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
That's all I have in water, unless there's any questions. Water.
Okay,
I just want to bring something up. We discussed at the contractors meeting about fiber optic going up to the West Service Road, entrance road to the water tower, and whether that was feasible. Because we were talking about underground electric, if we do it. And if we did do that, then maybe it was a good time to do the fiber optic. Is that,
Yeah,
I mean, fiber optic is available there, right?
it is.
So that would be,
Can you put that in the same
Just
trench?
conduit in the ground now?
I would recommend infrastructure. Is the power already in place?
No, it's not. I'm meeting with NICEAG in the morning to go over power for both sites and what's gonna be best.
Here's what I've seen, and I can say this because I'm not trying to promote my company or our company. What you could consider doing is putting an empty conduit in, like a
Right,
2-inch
that's-
conduit,
that's what
and a
we,
pull string.
Yep.
And then if you get, like, say, a Verizon Wireless or somebody that wants to attach to it, then you would lease that space to them with annual revenue, which is a really good idea. In fact, I mentioned this to, I don't know if I mentioned it to you, Anthony or Matt, but that water tank, both sites, has capability of being able to attach to it if we decided to do that.
EMS, state police, DOT,
Oh, yeah.
Border Patrol, you name it. There's Clinton County Highway Department. I mean, there's so many agencies in that area.
Yeah, you're right, besides the wireless carriers.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Can you put that in the same trench as electric?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't conduct electricity.
Okay,
And you like it to be separated a little bit, but
Mhm.
it's not usually an issue. That'd be something to ask the guys from NICEAG.
Yep.
So are you meeting with?
Jeremy,
Dragon,
yep,
yeah. Yeah, he's good to work with.
well, the question was asked, do we want to go underground or overground?
Oh, you wanna go underground?
So the cost that he told me, I want to clarify with him, the cost he told me underground was substantially cheaper.
Yeah. It's, especially when we're talking about the property on the West Service Road. You don't want that in the air
Mhm.
aesthetically.
Yeah. And we don't have to be that deep, so rock shouldn't be too much of an issue. As you get more towards the tank, rock rises, and we'll have to do some rock removes, but being only 2 feet down, we had that most of the way.
Wow, that's a no-brainer. That's a good idea, right?
Well, let's make a motion, we allow Anthony to negotiate that for us.
Yeah.
I
I'm
just-
second
I don't-
that motion.
2 inch big?
2 inches is good, it really is.
What
Put
is?
an awful lot of fiber in a 2-inch pipe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what your history is, but that's what, I'll abstain on that motion, just for
No, I
my own
understand.
conscience.
Did I have a second to that motion?
Second that.
Thank you. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried?
An extension.
That's a good idea.
And just a little bit more, the Prospect Hill one has even got more elevation than,
Is
They
it,
look at
is the
geographic-
rock already finished up there?
you must have to bring
It
power
looks
in there
pretty
too,
low.
though, right?
Yeah, we have to take power to both of them, so, and we still have to install a water line down West Service Road anyway. It'll be off to the side, it won't be in the road.
Okay. But you still could put conduit up the other one?
Yes.
Okay.
And then leave us an option to sell space on the towers to interested parties. That'll help us out a little bit, every little bit helps.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that it for
You,
water questions?
well, do you want to address the sewer at all as far as the DOT?
Yep, I was just gonna give an update that
Yes. Please do.
they sent in the final agreement for the town to sign. They changed the easement wording before it was, the town is going to require the easement to make the connection on Wolfer Street, and now the DOT is requiring that easement. So you will not need to worry about by the overpass. They're taking care of that. And DOT's engineer told me that within the next couple weeks, they should have plans to me of what they had done so far.
So it's gonna be completely in the state right of way.
No, they're getting an easement. It's gonna be out of the right of way.
Oh, they're getting the easement?
They're getting the easement now.
A little better as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, the last I
I
knew,
asked
they
that
were.
question.
Yep, no, that's why the agreement changed. They're getting the easement now.
We have to have this agreement in place before, for the map plan report for the whole area, for all of West Service Road.
You shouldn't need that for the map plan report. I'll have that complete by your next monthly meeting. Then you accept it, and then you can schedule a public hearing at that
Yes.
time to start forming a district.
Okay?
Should we schedule a public hearing for our next meeting? Is that what
You
you
can't.
Can't,
I
okay.
spoke to Bill about that.
Just want to make sure
Yeah,
that we have it
no,
in
we-
timely.
No. I mean, now unless, say I finish the report in 2 weeks and give it to you to review and you're fine with it and you had a special meeting, then you could schedule it if there were enough days left. I don't know how many days it has to be scheduled out for, but I think it'd be best probably just to wait until the next meeting, schedule it then.
Okay.
Did I understand one of the emails said that they have to have, the DOT wants the district formed by August 8th? Is that?
I don't recall that email.
I remember something, but I don't remember the date.
I think it was August 8th. I remember it was kind of, well, it's sudden, but it's not. I mean, is that,
I can check on
is that
that.
a timeline that we
Um,
can meet? I mean,
3 months.
if that's
Yeah.
right, if I understood it correctly,
Yep.
is that?
I can verify. Jane is double checking with Champlain National Bank too, on what they can do for rate and term. She checked with them once before and they couldn't match what EFC could do. So most likely we'll probably form the district with EFC's interest rate and loan, but she's going to double check on that too. So,
It's good to try to
Oh, yeah.
keep it local if we can, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jane, as of today, I heard her mention she was gonna call Champlain National again to see.
Right, yep.
Okay? The fiber optic thing, you wanna address that, Steve?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that
Okay, go ahead.
up. We were having problems with the internet here, and,
Upgrading it.
yeah, well, it needs to be upgraded. It just wasn't working for everybody at all times, and most things have to be filed electronically, so if the internet's down, we can't operate. So, Jane talked to PrimeLink, and they came up with an estimate. It's not much more. In discussing it with somebody from PrimeLink, they thought that it might bear us trying to get a better speed than what they proposed in the contract, so I'd just like to not bring it up tonight and see what we can come up with for a faster speed.
Okay.
You know, because it is important that we have very high-speed internet. I mean, we have fiber optic going right by here, so, you know.
Want to table this until next month?
Well, yeah, I guess I don't know what the price would, you know, if there'd be a change in price or not, so I don't know if we should table it or pass it now with the understanding we're gonna try and get a higher speed for the contract.
Is it necessary that we take action on this now?
It's not 100% necessary, but there have been several disruptions in the last couple of months. And they're serious. I mean,
Okay.
Alan was trying to file some reports that had to go online, and he couldn't do it, you know? And I know Larry had, when Jane was on vacation, Larry had problems with the internet, and then Jane came back, she had problems with the internet.
It went down for a day and a half, really.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe we should try and pass the contract with the understanding that they will try and, they give us a higher speed than what's stated. I mean, in that way, we could do it as fast as possible. I mean, the thing is, if it goes down,
I don't know how long it takes to get the upgrade. I mean, once they.
yeah, well, that's it. That's the other thing. It's gotta come from across the road, and they're probably gonna bore under the highway, so. Do we want to pass it tentative upon
I have no problem with that.
your approval, and that they come up with a better estimate, or do you feel,
If you do it that way, I will call everybody with the figure before I sign anything.
does that sound reasonable?
What kind of motion are you looking for right now?
I'm looking for a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign with Prime Link if we can get a higher speed.
I would
Then
make that
what's the
motion, negotiate a better speed.
Okay.
Yeah, that thing is so slow. We'll try to work that thing.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second today?
So,
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any questions?
Is that the Prime Link, right?
it's kind of ironic, the public Wi-Fi, I never had a problem with. The whole time the internet system was down, I had public Wi-Fi. But yet, Jane or Alan or anybody else,
I will ask for,
at least to go up to the 20 meg download for the same price if possible.
okay.
That sound
Yep.
reasonable?
Yeah, I'll ask for a roll call vote for a reason. John?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Abstain?
I abstain, yes.
I thought you might. I understand.
Thank you.
Carl?
Yes.
Aye for myself. Thank you. Thank you all. Okay? We try to work on that. It's very important. We're a business that needs it daily. I got a request, well, I think it came today or yesterday maybe. No, today. I've been invited to the Rouse's Point Fire Department annual banquet. They'd like to honor 5 different people for length of service, anywhere from 25 to 50 years of service. I'd like a motion to approve a resolution to award plaques or award certificates of some type. This is for the May 28th meeting banquet. Does anybody want a list of the names? I got them here. You probably know you all got them. I just got it today. Walt Larmy was 50 years of service. And there's 4 others from 25 to 35 years of service. Anybody have any discussion on this, or?
I make a motion, I'd like to make a motion, we set the awards up for the gentlemen that are receiving them. I don't know if we should do plaques or,
Yeah.
what you guys, small plaques for the guys or something.
Okay. Some kind of award.
They certainly deserve it.
Okay. Second, go ahead.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I spoke with our attorney today pertaining to an easement on the Ridge Road for, I'm sure I ain't gonna pronounce it right, Crispiano LLC, for a parcel of land. Yeah, we need an easement to go across. And he's agreed to it with the terms. The terms are up, including indicating the fair market value of the easement, plus approves the payment in the amount of $7,500 total now in exchange for granting the said easement. Okay, so I would like a motion to approve, authorize me to sign a contract when the gentleman also does, through Bill Farrell's office. We don't want to wait a month on this if we don't have to, okay?
Yeah, I think we already discussed.
I think I discussed it with everybody individually. It's
Yes.
something we're so close at hand, we don't want to give this one up. Time-wise, we need it.
And we're done with them.
Hopefully we're done. Nothing else, no other promises. Okay?
Right,
Do I
I'll make a motion to that effect, up to $7,500 to.
have me authorize it, me to sign it once it's finalized with the owner and our attorney, okay?
And I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. That was another one.
Did you wanna do a roll call there, because you're. kinda-
Yeah, I could do a roll call, I have no
It does
problem.
kinda indicate that on this, I didn't know if you were.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Let's go back, we'll take a roll call vote on that. John?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
Clark?
Yes.
And I for myself. Okay, thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
We have another one of a similar nature. This came from our attorney now. We've got to make sure it's acceptable to the old OGS properties, Office of General Services, which is the board, the town custom office on the border. And Bill would also like to have this, a motion to let me approve, authorize me to sign the contract when they agreed to it. And we're expecting that way before our next meeting, so I'd like to have this on the books. It would be to our advantage to get this one settled also, I believe.
I so move.
I'll second that, and I have a question.
Yes,
Reference in here is made to the village of Champlain. However, this is an agreement strictly between
town.
the government and the town of Champlain. And in no way does it affect the village.
Well, they are an outside user of the village now. They will not be.
That changes it.
This changes it.
Yes.
Well, the second page, number 3, it says the village of Champlain shall execute this agreement. Second page, number 3.
Right.
Has the village been informed of this? Do they have a copy of this?
I just got this today, so I'm sure they don't have a copy of it,
Or if they
I
did,
know.
they got it today.
unless they got it today.
Yeah.
But the village of Champlain is well aware of the fact they are no longer going to be an outside user, they're going to be part of the District 6.
Yeah, I'm just confused over that because it says the village of Champlain shall execute this agreement to acknowledge and agree the OGS property shall no longer be deemed an outside user of the village of Champlain based on its incorporation.
I will
So, I
check
mean,
with the mayor in the morning on this, but
Yeah, it's something that needs to go before the village board is what this is stating.
yeah, and that confuses, and also on number 2, that page, I don't want to run into the same problem with Jane that we had before. It says they agreed to the quarterly installment of 60 EDUs, but we should have a start date, as of when?
as of
Yes, as of the beginning of.
first of the year, whatever it
First of the
was.
year. Julie, does
We
that?
should have already gotten a bill.
That
They
didn't
they
change.
did, but this says they agree to pay it,
Right,
and that's,
okay.
we ran into that with Jane.
Yes, okay.
Julie, is that, like, going back to the first of the year, would that encompass the first billing?
Yes,
Quarter.
those went out in January.
It went out in
February.
February. Bills went out in February.
So, as of January 1? Is that what we're saying?
The only thing changing with that is they need one invoice rather than 5. They own 5 parcels.
That's
up
not
there.
in here.
I think Bill's gonna add that. He needed the parcel numbers. I sent him the parcel numbers after the meeting tonight.
Yes, it was on my computer
So-
when I got back to work tonight. Bill Favreau wanted to know the ID number, the parcel numbers of all those 5 parcels.
Yes.
So I'm sure he's going to incorporate that in this. Okay?
GSA said they would need 5 contracts if there were 5 separate bills, and
Okay.
that's a paperwork nightmare.
And on the same issue, not the exact same one, but Bill got a call or email or something from a lawyer in Canton, New York, representing Derringers. And and he seemed no issue that would build up a contract. They have some concerns, let's put it that way, but Bill didn't see any issues. It could not be over, you know.
You mean the easement
Yes,
contract?
yes. Okay, so we're still working on that one. We'll get back to
So,
this one.
yeah, this has gotta be edited then as well to
Yes.
encompass
I
those
will not
property.
sign anything unless Bill recommends it, and I call every board member.
Okay.
This
Okay.
one, this one.
Yes,
And does that also include the 5 parcels being
Yes.
willed as?
Yes.
willed as one?
yes,
And that will still be 60 EDUs,
Yes.
whether it's 5 or 1 parcel,
Yes.
that's the total
Yes.
is 60?
Yeah, right,
Yes.
that's correct.
That's correct.
Okay, so
Okay.
we're not,
So, and GSA, they actually told me yesterday, they have a utilities contract. I don't have a copy of it as well, so, or yet. I asked them for one. Maybe they can send a copy of that contract. Because I don't know if Bill wants to marry the two together, or they have their own separate one besides this. I'm not sure yet,
Okay.
so.
okay. Well, these are two important ones that we need to get off.
well, 60 EDUs is
Well,
a
that's 20%
substantial.
of the whole project.
Yeah, it's our revenue stream right here.
It's a big one. We need that one,
Yeah.
and they need us too.
So maybe you should check with Bill to see if we can merge the utility agreement into this so that it's all in one document.
Well,
Isn't that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
It makes sense to
Yeah.
me, because then you don't have two separate agreements.
Yep, and maybe whatever they have, Bill will say that's okay and you don't need this.
Okay.
okay. So I do have a motion, Joey, in a second, to authorize me, as supervisor, to sign an agreement with OGS, Human Services, upon Bill's recommendation after they approve. They take over.
With the starting date
Yes,
or.
yeah, okay. I had a motion and I had a second, I believe.
Yeah.
Is there any
The village-
questions? Any other questions?
The village will be
I
notified.
will talk to the village tomorrow.
That would be my question. Should we
I'm
be,
sure the village is well aware.
They are, I mean, they
Yes.
are, because they did bring that question up
Yes.
at one point specifically.
That's
They want to be rid of that anyway.
Well,
Understandably,
yeah,
nothing.
and they're
That's
still gonna
been,
supply
that's
the
been
water.
part of, one of the benefits to the village is to eliminate these special
Outside users.
districts, yeah.
So, that was my only,
is there any reason why the village needs to be involved at this point before we actually pass this?
Well, the village really needs to be informed at least that we're doing this, okay? Am I correct?
That's
yeah,
a
I
question-
mean,
No, that's a question for Bill, because
right,
it's implying that the village has agreed to this, and we don't know that they've officially agreed to it. That's what I think Clark's saying, if you don't want me saying that, I can see where he's
Will we
going.
hold off then, talking to the village?
We'll ask
Yeah,
Bill.
just a phone call between you and Gregory.
yeah, just ask Bill.
It still gives you authorization in the motion.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
just that we want to make sure that they're clear with what they're agreeing to as part of this.
Any other questions on this subject, this contract? If not, I'll call for a roll call vote on this one also. John?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Stephen?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. And I voted yes, thank you. Highway reports, I don't need to tell you, Alan's been sweeping the roads, side the roads. It's going along good there. They're anticipating a couple miles of paving this summer. Those roads are going to be in order by that time. We did get an update on the salt shed, that's moving forward. What all I have there. Julie, what do you have for us? Got some bills that we gotta.
Yeah, I gotta,
Well,
Just one other thing before we go on to the bills. Where's our dog report?
good question. She's never failed to give us one. I never thought of it, to tell you the truth. I will ask. We normally get one every month.
Notification of a rabies clinic, maybe that was
No.
enough.
I think that came from Julie.
I've seen it, I will ask that question.
And I also want to mention John is going to be looking into some grants for cemeteries.
We trying to, because Al's now taking care of a few cemeteries, and we assume that we're going to gain a few more, not that we want them. We're looking around for a grant, the state's got some grants out there for cemetery, not revitalization, but to help rebuild the cemeteries, to bring them up to standards, and to help maintain them by the state, which we're going to apply to see if we can get some money coming in, because everything we do for the cemeteries in Coopersville and here and there, the other place, wherever we got them there now, I'm now making a list. We're certainly not getting reimbursed for that, so we're gonna try to get some kind of grant to help out with that. I got some applications, and I'm gonna get with Brian, and we're gonna turn them in, see what happens.
Okay, you got your post audit bill, you got some extra monthly bills, so?
Yep, from general credit form, 100 rolls of credit card paper for $96.98. It's gonna be added.
Okay,
Is that for the judges? Credit card?
Yeah, it must be. The new ones, yeah,
They charge like 3%, right?
I don't know what they charge, I sure they can't answer that. I don't know the answer to that. Okay. I need a motion to approve the bills with the one addition.
I so move.
I thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any questions or concerns about any of the bills?
Yeah, a lot of equipment stuff. Any of this apply to the in-kind services for the salt shed? A lot of stuff on here. What is $1,000 for Taylor rental tart air filter? What is that?
That's that fancy one that goes in that new machine. We got an hour meter on those, you have to change it at a certain time. We lost 4 new tires out back there too.
Yeah, see, there's $3,500 in tires.
Yeah.
Lost as in,
Well, they got a stone caught between two of them and blew them out, and cut the top off of one. And we can't put a tire on, we have the match sets on the trucks. Can't have a small tire and a big tire on them. So that's what it was, $3,500. And then one of the floats on the front got a big bulge on it. Because working with this stone out here, that's hard on the tires. Those are highway tires.
right. What's a rust remover?
To buy cases of rust remover to use on the frames with the
Oh,
repaint.
okay. $300?
Yep,
Jesus.
that stuff's expensive as hell.
Where is the electric?
That paint is $200 a
Page
gallon.
2, 3/4 of the way down. It's under machine in Walmart, $340.
For who?
I'm glad you're looking into this stuff, John, because.
Well, I go to him all the time before I come to the meeting, so if somebody does question it, I know what's going on. And that,
Any idea of
I don't know if that paint is in there
$2,000 worth of parts from Clark's Truck Center? You know what that is?
from International. What was that? I remember that.
Just says parts.
Well,
I know one thing, we got it, we can find out exactly for you, Julie
Yeah.
probably got it right here.
It just seems like an awful lot of,
Yeah, when you're running those trucks in the stones out there, it crazy as hell with everything. So we'll be out of that shortly, so,
How many machines you have running? Half a dozen?
well, you're using all 5 trucks.
Yeah, I mean,
And
okay, let's just,
I mean, it's good preventative
No interest.
maintenance, right?
well, the only thing is, I think that you have a point there. I think anything that we manage to destroy on this project, we can bill against the shared services.
thought.
Yeah. I almost heard the tires I know we're gonna put on, I think we already discussed that.
okay.
We're gonna have plenty. to do
Well,
our
I just
share.
took a ride back there. You have a nice pile of stones and that's all crushed up
Well,
too.
we're gonna crush
The
it.
crusher's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who owns the crusher?
Alan's gonna be bringing some from the new
Right, they had
salt
Back when it did the
mine,
measurements.
Moore's Fork,
He's
will
working
be
for us.
crushed here,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so that crusher will be put to good use.
Yeah.
And that's, we put in those laterals across the road all the time, we use that sand and stone to put in there. That's something we don't have to buy.
Does the rental of the crusher qualify for Salt shed, or
I
is that?
think, we're gonna try everything,
Yeah,
as you well know.
yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it's,
you know, if somebody refuses, say, well, you can't use this, well, we're gonna try it first.
okay.
Well, it's probably cheaper than buying this thing. Let her own it,
Oh,
just
yeah.
have it first.
Well, yeah,
But none of that, we're buying it and trucking it when we can do it right here, and we got it all stockpiled from when we need it.
yeah.
We're gonna have this here, this load here, we're gonna crush up a little bit smaller. We got some aprons on the road and, you know, that stuff like that, we run it through that little thing we got that do the shoulders and stuff.
Mhm.
So the other stuff we did was always like what they call number threes, and now we're going down to dust and 3/4 dozen one or something like that. So we can use it on the shoulders. Pretty ambitious project, we got some stuff going.
We vote?
We got water district number 6 disbursement approval number 21. Bernier and Carr for $102,032.57. Castellan, $1,050,290.80. Statewide, $48,545.
You said all those bills have been checked and everything?
Yeah. How do we work the Casella, because that's project number 1, and it's not going to be reimbursed unless we have all the easements signed.
Didn't think it was gonna be an issue, we're not sure.
Anthony, is that, I mean,
Bill needs to sign a certificate of title, saying that all the easements are signed. And I wasn't part of that conversation today, and Matt brought it up to Bill and was on speakerphone. I don't know when he thought he was gonna have all the easements.
Well, he told me I'd have to come down to Plattsburgh and sign off on all those easements,
yeah,
notarize them with him.
I'm concerned about signing approval of payment for something that legally can't be dispersed. That's where I have, the emails I had received said, if all the easements aren't in place, EFC is not going to approve any disbursements for project number 1. Cut and dry.
I didn't see that email.
Yeah,
Yeah, I sent a few of them.
Yeah, yeah, and the reason was EFC is saying, how can we pay out money if you guys have no proof that you can complete the project because you don't have the easement signed? I guess that was the rationale that was
That's
explained.
correct.
Logical.
Is the last easement, the guy with the gentleman on the ridge road, is that the last one?
No, there's Derringer that Larry mentioned, that Bill said their attorney called him, I'm not sure when. There
Last couple
is,
days, yeah.
yep, there's duty free, which.
Which is, we think it's settled, right?
Yeah, I talked with 2 different managers there, and they were all fine, they're just waiting paperwork.
Mickey has
I-
that?
Yeah, well, I requested it from Bill, to have official paperwork, have it typed in, documentation, never received anything. I've asked for that since January. So Mickey was gonna take one up last week, and I don't think he's had a chance to now
Right.
to visit, but that shouldn't be an issue. It just, paperwork needs to get the duty free.
I was talking-
I've sent them the drawing, but they need the legal documentation. And I wasn't aware of this one, but I guess GSA hasn't signed their easement, which that's at the dead end line, it's on their property. They shouldn't have an issue with it, and I don't even think EFC would have an issue with that because we would complete the entire project without that, other than their connection.
But I guess we have to wait until Bill certifies that we have the title, or,
Yes.
so,
Look, I mean, you don't have to wait, but most likely EFC will not release funds until Bill signs that sheet.
so,
Do we sign it? Do we?
Well, I
this
think,
is what I guess I'm getting at.
I think that is structured anyways, payment upon receipt from EFC. Is that correct? What you're approving right now, I think, is dependent upon EFC disbursement.
Yes, we don't pay out till we're sure we got the money from them,
Right.
which usually takes a week or two.
Well,
So,
can you check on that for us? Because we're all here all the time, we can sign this thing tomorrow morning if we have to, or whenever, sometime this week. But would you clarify that for us? as to what exactly if this is, what we're doing is legal. That's what Brian is trying to say here.
To clarify what you're passing right now,
Yeah,
He just
Yeah, well-
said that.
I don't know what that sheet says, but I think Jane always told me it was dependent upon EFC disbursement.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
That's the part that's a joke, our signatures don't mean anything in my mind. I mean, what validity those signatures have, because ultimately, EFC doesn't release any funds until they're satisfied with what they see for documentation
Yeah.
regarding the disbursement. What's our purpose in signing off on this?
Well, that we approve.
It's a paper trail for
Yeah.
EFC. We
yeah.
are verifying that we're that far along in the project.
I'm just concerned, what happens if EFC says, no, we're not gonna pay? Does this obligate the town to do something? I mean,
Okay,
Hmm.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, the last email I saw, which doesn't necessarily mean it's most up to date, was Bill had to have that certificate of title and all easements had to be signed before EFC would approve payments on anything. And now we have that knowledge, and we're authorizing payment. Is that kind of,
Why is this just coming to light now, though? How is it we could do all these other steps?
Because I think we had
That's a
the, I
contingency.
think we had that thing in hand before, though, but this one here pertains to the easements being all signed. I think the other stuff was,
well, we're
Yeah,
working.
there hasn't been any construction for contract one paid for.
Okay.
This is contract one construction, so statewide money would be dispersed, money to BCA. This is a new contract. No
Okay.
money's been issued to contract one yet.
Okay.
I think the water towers were pretty simple, two easements or three
Yep,
easements.
and Bill had to sign the same sheet for that, and that was, and we made a note on there for contract number 2, because obviously we didn't have all the easements, and those were on town property, so.
I can't sign that. Not until Bill certifies
That's
it.
fine.
yeah.
I would expect it's gonna be at least a week, week and a half, into next week probably, before we even.
Well, they'd have to wait anyway.
Yep.
I mean, because we can't file it without them.
EFC's not gonna pay it.
Yeah, they're not gonna pay it.
If, to my knowledge, Matt told us we put them in by a Thursday or something, we get paid the following Thursday or something?
If it's in by Friday, we
Friday,
get
okay.
paid the following Thursday.
Okay. Well, then we're gonna be a week or two out. And if I need to, I'll call a meeting of.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather,
I agree.
I agree.
I mean, I do have that email somewhere and, you know, it
I
just,
I don't recall it, but.
there were a lot of
If you get-
emails out there.
Yeah, they're
Throw
floating
it around,
around.
if you come across it, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I sent it 2 or 3 times just because I knew it was an issue, and I
Yeah.
was hoping we could.
Worst part was I sent an email to Matt asking him that specific question, and I thought it was reply all, or, you know, when he replied, it would go to everybody. But apparently it was me to him, and then him back to me.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Well,
it
You sent
didn't-
an email.
And that was just to the latest one, too, that wasn't prior. That just happened this week.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and there were ones,
after-
there were ones well before that.
yeah, I mean, actually.
After the questions I had, you mean, that I sent? out?
Yeah, it was right
Okay.
after that, yeah. I mean, I can dig it up right now.
When you have a chance, I just want to look at it.
But what do we need to do
Guess we're gonna wait on those.
statewide though?
So, right, you could approve statewide and BCA and knock a sale.
So how would we,
It's all on the same one?
it's all in the same, yeah, it's all in the same one.
Well, let's have her type up another sheet, and we'll approve statewide and the other one.
We can make a motion to approve
Well,
those two.
I can get hold of Clark anytime, I can get hold of you anytime, we can get hold
Just
of
go
you
ahead and
anytime.
sign it.
And we can come in anytime and sign them.
Because we make a motion saying we want to adjust that and leave out the project
Contract
one.
number one.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
let's do it that way then.
Right.
That way, the guys that are done there will get paid.
Right,
We're just pending getting the easements for the other guys.
I need a motion to approve statewide with 48,000, was it?
yes.
Yeah.
and
Bernier and Carr.
Bernie Carr for a little over 100,000? Am I correct?
Yes.
And we'll wait on the third part of that, okay? So is that a motion somebody would make?
Well, I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
I'll second it.
thank you. Any questions on that? Just the two parcels?
And we'll
Two bills.
act on contract number 2 when we get the
Yes.
certificate of title from
Okay.
our attorney, saying
Okay,
all the easements are signed.
Anything that can be done to help get those easements, we should work together on that to do this. I spoke with Scott today, and he said it was in with Scott Yell, with Derringer, and he said it was in with his attorneys. And I didn't realize that Bill had spoke with his attorneys.
well, I don't know if he spoke to him, he got a correspondence from the other.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, even that, Scott
And
didn't
he did
mention
not
that,
see any
so.
big issues that were insurmountable that we could not get by.
Yeah, I mean, if,
They
just
were
to
more
push
like
this along. further.
Construction,
Yeah, but if we can't, we need to do eminent domain. If we're not,
no.
if that's not gonna be
Nobody's
done.
going to that.
No, and none of these I don't think are at that point. It just needs to happen. Somebody needs to push something along.
And Brian and I spoke to Casella today, the owner of the company, pertaining to that particular one, and he'll work around that any way he can.
Yeah, he said, no problem, I'll just go there and get it. It'll
He
happen.
has to, okay? So I don't see that as an issue. Okay, I have a motion, I believe we haven't acted on it yet, to approve the two parts of that bill. One for Echo Store, and the other one from Bernie and Carr Associates. May I have a motion to that, Julie? Any other questions? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. We'll work on the third part of that bill this week.
Okay.
Maybe you can send an email off to Bill. Tell him that we're waiting for that. Okay? I might get him off center a little bit. And we'll certainly be in contact with him.
As soon as that gets typed up, we'll sign it, we'll get it right out.
Yeah.
Okay?
So what do we need to do with this now?
Give it to me, I'll give it to you.
I mean, do we sign for the
Yeah.
current 2, or you're just gonna?
No.
I'd wait, I'd wait till it's changed.
Get a fresh one.
Yeah.
Typed up the way it ought to be.
I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Anybody else have anything to bring forward to the board?
I have two
Yes.
things, that's why I say. I had, the fire hydrant, we have a dry, fire hydrant
Yes.
next to the river. And last year, when the water was down, the pipe wasn't even in the water, it was like 2 foot out of the water. The water was so low, it wasn't, and the fire department was there, because they were doing their thing, I told them about it, and it's like, and the chief was there, I remember, I told them about it, and they seen it, but they were just drawing from the river itself, I guess just doing a drill. But the actual pipe that goes from the side of the road right by my house, that goes out, it was like out of the water this much, wasn't even touching the water at all.
It's-
And I just thought maybe they were gonna do, maybe it was out, I thought they were there to do something, because they seen it, but they didn't do anything. I mean, I was afraid last year that someone was gonna snap it off with a boat, because, it's like sticking out, and the water was, it's sticking out in the water, probably like about 4 or 5 feet. I seen
There
some
probably
people.
was a 90 on there, a 45 on there, and it probably got broke out by the ice.
So, well, it was there, it's still sitting out, I mean, it's like at a little angle, it's going down, but like I said, once the water went down below below it, it was like 2 feet out of the water, but I mean, when the water goes up, obviously you can't see it. But
Is it just a
now,
matter of lowering the pipe?
yeah, that's all they had to do was probably, have to add like another, to go down into the river more probably. I mean, I don't know. And, that, and the other thing was with yacht club and, other people. In front of our house and in front of the yacht club, our speed limit is 35 miles an hour. And the one lady that lives there was walking the other day, and a truck was going probably like 75. He almost hit her, he wasn't paying attention, and I guess he's on his phone, and you could hear his tires squirt, and she put a complaint into the sheriff's department. It's Tracy, I forgot her last name, she works for the real property in
I know her.
She put a complaint in, and they've been going by there excessive, at least 65, 70 miles an hour, if not more. It's a passing zone in there on top of 35 miles, and that's why one reason I'm bringing it up for the yacht club is that we had 3 customers last year complain, saying that if it wasn't fixed this year, that they were going to take their business otherwhere. And these 2 guys have about 35-foot boats, and they have kids and grandkids. And the one guy, I guess, the granddaughter was walking toward it, and a car came flying down there. And the other guy had dogs, and his dogs were like walking just with him, and they don't move over. they stay right alongside the edge of the road, and like I said, they're going, I mean, they're going like, not just that, I mean, we have tractor trailers going up there now, like regular sized trucks on Lakeshore Road, tractor trailers, going up through there, they're going like 65, if not more. Like I said, that whole speed limit, and then they got, like I said, it's a passing zone too, on top of that, it's a straightaway. I mean, it's like a mile, about a mile from the railroad tracks, right up to the corner where Alex lived. It's a straightaway, I mean, and like I said, you can go out there any time of day, and they're going excessive. The only people that don't speed through there are actually the Canadians. I mean, I see them, they're actually going, you know, they actually go like, maybe like 40 or so. That's just the issue that, I mean, and I have, like I said, I have dogs, and I have my nephews and nieces come over, and I said, they are excessive,
Well, that's a county road to start with,
okay.
but I think the lady that filed a complaint is probably right. It's a law enforcement issue now. There's not much we can do other than, I think the county had that reduced. Right.
Yeah, the speed limit, I don't care about the changing it, this is, I like to see them at least, a trooper or someone sitting there monitoring it. Like I said, at least, you know, I figure if you've got a trooper sitting there and somebody sees, you know, a couple of cars getting pulled over, well, they're gonna come through there thinking about, well, is there gonna be a cop car sitting there, but should I be going, you know, the speed limit? I mean, I live there, and like I said, I actually go the speed limit through there too, like I said. I know there's other people with dogs and
Yeah.
kids,
It's a law enforcement issue, and we can certainly speak to those.
yeah.
Well, could we ask the county to put crosswalks in?
Well, Alex has a couple there, but he has those little green guys there he puts up.
Yeah, but these are, legally, if there's a crosswalk and a pedestrian is in it, they have to stop.
Oh, I mean, the actual.
Yeah,
off the
I
road,
mean,
yeah.
yours is good, but it has no legal authority, where maybe the county could, you know, I don't know, I'm just throwing that out. I mean,
Because we do have so we have three main bathrooms.
Yeah.
We have the
something like
one
that.
going from the one dock across the road, then we have the other ones right in front of the store, then we have another one down at my house, it's another crosswalk where another bathroom is.
Unofficial crosswalk.
Yeah, like I said, there's nothing really there, I mean, people just walk across, you know, whatever you're doing.
If the
but-
county put them in, they would be legally
Yeah.
binding, they could enforce that. I mean, I know exactly where you're talking about, and it is,
Like I said,
Well, that's
I've seen big trucks, you know, I seen a sample truck go by one day with the crane on it, and he was going so fast that his whole truck, the back tires were just actually bouncing on the road, and he had a load on, and he was, like I said, he had to be going excessive 60 miles an hour. I mean, like I said, they fly. Like I said, I've got tractor trailers on the road now, actual 18-wheelers, up and down that road now. And I didn't know if they were supposed to be on the road to begin with. I thought it was up back because of the bridge and all that there. On the other side, up toward the one you just made.
the state police can, I don't know if that road allows tractor trailers. I mean, there's some, I didn't realize Mason Road doesn't allow tractor trailers, believe it or not.
Well, you can have them for deliveries, though.
Well, these are, these
Well,
aren't
this is like just a regular, we've
Yeah,
got,
I mean, people may be using.
I mean,
it
the
for
milk
short-
truck, I mean, I know the milk trucks are, because the farms are all over the place, but these are actual like container trucks, like using that like as a
They're
shortcut.
bypassing it for something.
Yeah,
for-
shortcut to go through, I mean, like I said, and I know they just put that brand new bridge in up on the top of Lake Shore, so I didn't know what that weight thing was for that.
I mean, they did, the state police used to have the mobile traffic enforcement unit for truck inspections. They do it on the Mason Road, you know, because the tractor trailers weren't supposed to be on it. It's not a main truck route. And, you know, that might be something that if it isn't, the county could ask them to look into it. You know, just,
You know, some towns post roads in the spring of the year for frost, and they can post roads where trucks can't go on them, but you can't stop fuel trucks and milk trucks.
That's what I mean, the milk trucks, I said, if the milk trucks go through there, like I said, they go through like normal. You know, when they hit there, most of them are like doing the speed, because, you know, the farms are like,
Yeah.
not that far away, so they really can't be flying through to go, but like I said, you
Very
know,
interesting.
So should we ask the county, or should you talk to the county?
I don't, either, I mean, said, maybe is Joe to
The
talk to us?
positive thing is that it is legally at 35 miles an hour. How many times we fought to try to get it reduced, so
Yeah.
that's a plus. I know you're not happy with that, but
Well, it's
We
a
should be able
35
to-
is better than 55, I
Yeah.
mean, but, you
Well,
know.
we got it down to 35, what, 2 or 3 years ago?
well, we need to just call the county and sheriff's department, see if they'll send somebody down there.
Like I said, I have a perfect place for them to sit, and they can sit around the property. I got a big boat there, and the trees are there. If they, yeah, a big gigantic boat on one side, a little boat here. If he backed in there, I mean, they wouldn't see him either way. Like I said, the problem is, I just figure if, you know, if people actually go through there and see activity of a sheriff or a state trooper there pulling people over, they'll actually get the thing that, you know, watch your speed through here, you know, because it's gonna actually be enforced. And that's just it, you know. They're like I said, it's like a racetrack. Now, like I said, I've had like the cars that are souped up, like they actually like it's a racetrack. They pass each other. I've had them passing each other right in front of my house, like back and forth, just see who can go faster. They can pass before they get to the corner or whatever, you know. So like I said, it's like I said, they use it as almost like I said, they use it as a drag race. I mean, not just cars, you know, pickup trucks, you know, whatever. You know, they're like I said, they're using it. But it's a straightaway. I mean, you know, it's like, you know, it's out in the middle of nowhere, and they don't figure no one's gonna stop it, you know. And they do. They fly through there. I mean,
Well, there's always somebody walking down that road down there.
Yeah.
yeah, I said everybody except like, well, we got a lot of boaters too. But I mean, Tracy does. The state trooper that's in the back there by the yacht club, he does the DOT. I forgot his name. It's a new guy. He comes over all the time. But his wife and his daughter usually walk on that road too. And there's like older couples down the road, they're always walking by, and Tracy does. Gilbert, Gil DeLorme, you know who he is? He's he used to play, he's an NHL hockey player.
Oh, yeah.
He lives right on my road. He's a handicapped boy, and another little girl, and they walk up there constantly, up and down the road on the weekends, and, well, if they're out during the week too.
Look at the bicycle traffic on.
Yeah, well, that's just it too. Our road is a main bicycle route for the locks. And I have a day, if I have during the summer, 200-300 bikes past my house. And like I said, they're on, you know, both sides most of the time. And the cars don't even slow down for that. I mean, they just move over and blow right by them still. They don't, like I said, they don't even slow down, you know. They still, just like I said, they just move over to the side and blow right by them. And it's like, they're not even there, you know. It's just that,
You might also want to talk to Harry McManus. I've talked to him before about certain situations, and he was able to get the sheriff's department like that.
So like I said, I know Tracy went there and actually put a written complaint into the sheriff's department last week.
Okay.
Like a week after it happened, but she had to work, but she actually did put a complaint in.
I mean, I'll contact the county if you want, as long as you do it too.
I'll call tomorrow. I'll call tomorrow. I mean, I'll be there
I mean,
tomorrow.
I see that, because I go down the Lake Shore Road a lot, so I know what you're talking about.
Well, even in the 55 mile an hour, I was on there flying. I mean, the other day I was doing 55, and I had somebody go by me, right by I don't know what farm that is. You know where it starts, where it was flat, and then it starts going back up towards, with the sign that says out of Champlain. I had a guy, I was doing 55, I had a guy pass me like I wasn't even moving. He flew right by me, up around that corner, and that's like a double line there. And that guy, that farmer, I mean, he has the kids running around all the time. I mean, you have cars there all the time. I said the guy passed me like I wasn't even moving. And so I was actually doing 55. I was like, you know, I said I do it my speed limit that way because I want people to respect it by my house. So I'm not going to come here and complain about it if I'm not going to actually do it myself in front of somebody else's house, you know. The speed limit says 55. I'm going to do it, you know. I know they have kids there. And I know it's a farm, so I mean, I know there's going to be, I mean, I don't know if you had any animals there no more, but I mean, still, you know.
Yep.
I understand. Up that whole road, there's kids. I mean, you know, like said,
Oh, yeah.
that school bus is by, you know, I followed that school bus one day, and there's like about 15 stops on Lakeshore Road from the beginning to where they turn to go to the Shazy District. So, I mean, and all those kids all walk down my road all the time.
Yep.
I mean,
Point well taken.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic there.
Yep. Okay. You have anything else, Julie? Anybody else have anything to bring before the board? Then I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion that we adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
You want some numbers?